All right, so this is the second video to the mind reading question video because I had an insight, and I apologize if I offended all you mind readers out there.
This is Reid Mahalko from readaboutsex.com.
And this is Cathy from the intimacydojo.com. So the eroticness or the turn on of dating somebody who can magically knows what you need and what you want, that, I think, is your cat. When it comes to romance.
They're thinking of you.
And they're being able to guess or read your mind and anticipate your needs lands on you as romantic and thoughtful. And then the romanticizing of the fact that of somebody who knows you so well can just, you don't have to use your words, they just know. Which there's a lot of...
We're taught that.
There's a lot of mythology, right?
If they really loved us, they would know what we need.
Right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm just going to burst the bubble here. If they really loved you and they watched all of these videos, they would know to role model for you that it's okay for you to figure out what you need and to ask. And they would role model it by figuring out what they need and asking. If and when you just happen to guess right, sometimes I don't know that that's what they needed. It was thoughtfulness that landed on them.
Or luck,
right? You didn't need flowers. You're just like, oh my God, how did you know? I needed to feel loved. And it's a cat thing.
Yeah.
That was my insight on that piece around mind reading. And it's really hot when people are in tune with you. And you guys drop into a connected flow. But again, I'm going to argue that when you're in that flow, there's like 8 or 10 things they could do that are going to feel great.
Yeah.
They just, whatever one they picked, your mind is like, that's exactly what I needed.
Well, I think you talk about dating your species. And I think when there can be a time, there can be people that are a really good fit for what they want to give is what you want to receive and vice versa. But the idea of finding someone where that's a perfect match all the time is just, it doesn't happen.
That's fantasy.
Yeah.
And while fantasy is hot, to get angry at somebody for not meeting your fantasy needs means you are not in reality.
How come you didn't know to bring me flowers?
Because you didn't ask. But that's not really romantic. Well, maybe if you asked enough times, I would start to get into my thick skull. Wow, like you really like flowers. Or something else. But to get angry that they never caught on, all those hints that you had about flowers.
It doesn't work.
No. And in my opinion, like it just doesn't work. You're gonna get resentful and that's gonna backfire. That's not what you're actually trying to create. And sometimes by asking, you realize, wow, like even when I ask, you're horrible at this or you don't want to do that. And then that brings up this other conversation that some people aren't willing to change or grow, or maybe you're in the wrong relationship. And so I do think on a very subconscious level, sometimes we don't speak up because we're afraid of removing all the excuses and that we might actually have to get real and realize that we're in the wrong relationship or whatever, yada, yada, yada.
But it's also important, like you said, about digging down to what's the need underneath. So if you need your partner to bring flowers and that's just not gifts or whatever is not hit that person's expression, well, if you need to feel loved, how else could you feel loved? And there might be ways for that feel really natural for that person to express it.
And so reading the book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary
that.
Chapman, really helpful and useful, and just getting really clear that, what are the needs you're trying to get met? Is it really about flowers? If it's really about flowers, then buy flowers.
Or date a florist.
Boom! Problem solved. That's
Here,
good.
honey, they were going to go bad anyway.
I'm leaving you for a florist. But like that's the thing is like we can joke about it because when you get right down to it, what's actually bothering you?
Yeah.
And then can you have that conversation in your relationships? Which again, if you're expecting the other person to know what's bothering you,
It doesn't work.
because they are a mind reader or something. Like, it's just not working.
Yeah, and if you want your life to feel more beautiful because you love flowers around, you can buy them for yourself or find a friend that loves to exchange them too. If that's not the... Yeah, make friends with the florist.
Make friends with the florist. And again, we're just using flowers as an example. We're both being a little bit jackassy around this. Relationship10x.com has some free relationship
Really good
videos that can be really helpful. It's one of my projects, so check that out. And leave some comments below.
Yeah.
I kind of poo-pooed on the other video, like mind reading. And again, like, I know everyone has lots of different beliefs and whatnot, but when you look at it from what actually makes relationships work and what most people's skill sets are, regardless of whether you believe in mind reading or not, finding words and self-awareness and being able to communicate, that just builds better relationships. And then you can add whatever other, belief systems you want on top of that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank
Comments.
you.
Bye.